Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us at Interface 2017. I want to thank you all for your participation, as well as I'd like to thank the Interface Planning Committee. Can the Interface Planning Committee folks please stand up? Tanya Means chair, and the names are listed in your program. We also have Brianna Blasnek, who is one of our conferencing teams out front, Alexandra Biton, Dave Carlson, who couldn't join us today, I don't think, Aaron Dinkel, who's our conference team out front, Randy Graff, Julie Henderson, Brian Marchman, Rhiannon Pollard, and Andrea Wary, who's another one of our conference team out front. So thank you so much to our conference planning team. I don't want to drag my welcome out any further because the actual welcome is coming from Clay Hurdle, who is actually in his first year of graduate school at the College of Agricultural and Life Sciences. If you don't know Clay, you probably haven't gotten out of your department, because Clay is instrumental in providing a student viewpoint on so many committees and through so many activities throughout campus. He has also been a member of Blue Key Student Government, UF Honors Ambassadors, and the College of Agricultural and Life Sciences Ambassadors, and the list goes on. And so I'm very pleased to welcome Clay Hurdle to kick us off on the right note. Clay Hurdle, thank you.
I tell you what, reading day, I've got finals and stuff coming up. That's exactly what I needed to get things started off for the next couple of days. Thank you, Ms. Smith. I appreciate that very much. And I'm excited to be here. I mean, I think it's the most beautiful day in the history of the world outside. I don't know about y'all. I walked here, blue skies. There was a slight breeze out of the northwest. I'm feeling really good about today. What about y'all? Show of hands, maybe? Yes? All right, cool. Basically, everybody raised their hand. That's awesome. Well, I'm very excited to be here, and just a couple of minutes, I want to talk about some things that I think y'all should know from my perspective as a graduate student and a recently graduated undergraduate student from this institution. First, I have to say thank y'all for being here. This is awesome. This is an incredible attendance to talk about assessment and to really just do good and to collaborate with all the different factors or factions of campus to institute positive change in your coursework for yourselves and obviously for the students here at UF. I'm excited that you're here, but more importantly, I'm grateful that you're here. It's one thing to say thank you. It's another thing, I think, to say grateful. And the reason that I'm grateful is twofold. One, because you're daring to be different, and two, you are trying to set the stage for what I like to call the aha moments for students that you work with. And so what do I mean by daring to be different? So you're here because you want the best, right? You want the best for yourselves, you want the best for your students, for your coursework, for the things that you work hard for at this university. You're not afraid to be creative, you're not afraid to be innovative. You settle for nothing short of excellence and sublimity. And this is absolutely congruent with what UF constantly strives to do and what it's tried to do for the last 20, 25 years. I mean, if you think about it, back in the 90s, Dr. Lombardi's administration, was trying to figure out how we could be expeditious and efficient with graduating our students in a timely manner. And so, they could have done whatever other institutions were doing, but they didn't. They said that we wanted to do something electronically, so critical tracking is born. A lot of people thought that we were nuts at the time, but here we are 20-something years later, we're still doing it, and we kind of set the gold standard for everybody else in the Southeast and amongst our peer institutions. When Steve Spurrier got here, no story would be complete without Steve Spurrier. Thank you, Dr. Marchman. When Steve Spurrier got here, Florida was not necessarily the best football program. The SEC was a very interesting place, lots of good defense. Scores of 7-3 were pretty common. And he said, to be successful, we could certainly do what everybody else has done. We could work really hard and just outwork everybody. But at the end of the day, we could also be different. We could do something special. And so that's why Fun and Gun was a thing, and that's why I think Florida really exceeded expectations for a lot of folks and really changed the course of football in this conference and really put Florida on the map athletically, but also academically in the same vein. There's a charming story that a friend of mine told me about Bob Gates when he was president at Texas A&M University. And, when he got there, he started changing things up a little bit, moving some things around, moving some folks around. And, it was an interesting time, to say the least. And so it came down to one of his advisors asking him, Bob, why are you doing all these things exactly? And he had a very intriguing answer. And he said that, changing things might ruffle some feathers, but at the end of the day, if we subject ourselves to stagnancy, and if we subject ourselves to stagnancy, we essentially are settling for mediocrity. And the University of Florida is not a mediocre place, and that's because of you all. It's why you're here today. It's the things that you do when you're not here, and I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for you all daring to be different, because you're ensuring that UF maintains its status as a top 15 institution, and you're ensuring that we're going to be a top 10 institution in the very near future. Now, those aha moments that I was referring to, so aha moments is very broad, but for me, it's really, you obviously want to see if students are learning. You want to make sure that they're learning in the best possible manner. This is incredibly important. But think about it from the other side of the coin as well. It's important for students themselves to see that they're learning. Assessment directly contributes to that. It's validation for both parties in this learning process and the sharing of knowledge that we partake of. It's your intentionality and your desire to innovate that can ultimately lead to instances such as an exploratory student as a freshman discovering, wow, this is the major that I need to pursue. It could be the moment that a senior realizes, wow, this is the graduate program that I need to pursue moving forward. Or for any student, for that matter, who says, you know what, this is the trajectory of my life now. You assessing yourselves, making your courses better, that can lead to those special aha moments that can fundamentally just change a person for the better, and that's something to be grateful for. So, I said it was finals week. It's an interesting time, right? Everybody's very busy. I've been trying to practice mindfulness a lot in the last few months. Graduate school, we have lots of stuff to read. Courses are really, really in depth. And so mindfulness has been great. It's been a chance to really live in the moment. And I'd like to do something very brief with you all this morning to kind of get us kicked off. We practice some mindfulness together. So take 10 seconds to think about a teacher in your life whose classes, whose body of work, whose teaching style has fundamentally impacted you for the better. Take 10 seconds. I'll watch the time, starting now. So whomever you've had a chance to think about, it's really amazing. I'm sure that how pleased that they must be to know that you're carrying on a legacy that they instituted. It's that passion, it's that drive that I know that you're emulating, and that's why you're here today, because again, you settle for nothing short of excellence and you absolutely care. I can guarantee you that 50 years from now, when people ask me or my peers to do something similar to taking 10 seconds to think about a teacher who's fundamentally impacted us, we're going to think of folks like y'all. We're going to think of the people like yourselves who strive for nothing short of excellence, who dare to be different, and who live for those aha moments. And I can guarantee you that we're still going to be grateful. So, to wrap it up, thank you for being here. I'm excited that you're here, and I'm grateful that you're here. I hope you have an incredible day. I'm looking forward to getting to stay myself. Come and talk to me, distract me from my finals. But thank you so much. I truly appreciate what you're doing, and it's going to be a great day. I'll wrap it up with Go Gators. Thank you.
Thank you, Clay, very much. We really appreciate your welcoming the gang and getting us kicked off with some great thoughts about teachers that we have respected and learned from in the past. So, to keep things moving right along, I'd like to bring up Evie Cummings, who is the Assistant Provost and the Director of UF Online. She's just going to talk a little bit about some of the big picture things that are going on, and then we'll jump right into the Online Education Excellence Awards.
Good morning. Good morning. I want to emphasize that Jennifer just said, as she told me earlier, Evie, you're just going to talk a little bit. It's just going to be 5 minutes. So thanks, Clay. You're awesome, as always. Yay. Great observations. So I just want to share a few anecdotes. Don't worry, Jennifer. It's going to be brief. I do want to share, in my role as director of UF Online, I'm usually kept tethered to my office in Tigert, but occasionally I get to go out and I get to meet with other online administrators across the country. I know you're thinking, a meeting of online administrators, that must be fantastic, a real blast, and you'd be right. But one of the things that I think is important for you guys to hear is there was a point of one of these meetings. Now, these are folks from large public research institutions. These are folks from small private institutions, and they're all trying to infuse technology into the classroom and do it in a very academic way. So we're a very, I think, common gaggle that's trying to pursue the same kind of goals. They asked, well, anybody want to just tee up a challenge that you're facing at your institution? And I chimed in, well, if there's one word that I could strike from the lexicon of this university and the state, is the word scale. There is an obsession, I think, in online education on reaching scale. And the number of heads nodding in the room was significant. I think we are seeing a trend across the country of educators such as yourselves saying, well, what the hell is scale? There was this outdated notion that, well, we would use technology, we would build online classes, and once we reach scale, balloons would fall from the ceiling, and learning would be trifold, and costs would be low, and classes would be of infinite size, and there was no more need for faculty. I mean, these really bizarre notions that online education and the technology was going to scale, and then magic would happen. So we got to discussing it, and the conversation was really about how folks like ourselves are trying to talk to other folks on our campuses about the fact that, there's no such thing as scale. So in our instance, we talk about it in terms of, as a class grows, as a class size grows, the costs grow. Why? Because it's an academic endeavor. It's not a revenue-generating endeavor. So I was very pleased, and I wanted to report to you all that is a wind of change, I feel, coming across the country in terms of the public online programs and even the public residential programs that are infusing technology into their residential classes. It's for an academic purpose and not necessarily a revenue-generating purpose. And that, of course, you probably read in the paper, is also being discussed at our own Board of Governors, and hopefully will make its way to our legislature, which is that the work of using technology is not cheaper, it's not infinitely scalable, and it's actually substantial in terms of the effort that you all put into it to actually make it a reality. So I feel like that's, for me, good news that I hear. I also wanted to share with you that when I go to these meetings, I'm also reminded of how unique you all are, how unique the University of Florida is in what we're doing. First off, the level of sophistication that I hear every day about how you approach your classes, your residential classes, your online classes, goes beyond that binary, is it residential or is it online? The level of sophistication here amongst this group and those outside this room is unique. We are now looking at the build of a new course or the redesign of a program in a very multidimensional way. We're not talking about it in a very binary, is it online, is it face-to-face? We have moved beyond lecture capture, and we are talking as an institution, and I just am so proud to be here with you all that we're talking about, okay, I've figured out at least 5 different dimensions that Joleen works on with all of you guys, and Jennifer as well. And it's that sophisticated conversation about, well, what's the format? What's the class size? What's the ratio of faculty to student? How much is synchronous, asynchronous? How much is visualizations highly produced? How much is active learning projects? How much is passive learning, viewing, receiving information? There are so many dimensions to a classroom that you all work on every day, that is something that we just need to communicate outside so people appreciate that. So one announcement for today is, in accordance with that, with the fact that the university is already at this multidimensional, complex, and I think cutting-edge realm, we, UF Online and others, need to update how we support you. So, as of July 1st, I'm here to announce, you probably have already heard, we are launching a new Center for Online Innovation and Production, where we are now merging our course production teams within UF Online and with DCE into now a Center of Online Innovation and Production. And you're probably thinking, another center? How exciting. But this is significant because this new center is actually going to be positioned to help you in ways you actually need help. So bringing the resources to bear on new builds that you want to do, helping you adapt multimedia enhancements into your classes, helping you with accessibility, but also not in such a way that the center becomes the center of activity, but rather the learning and the techniques are things that you take and you deploy as you see fit. You evolve, you are creative, and you can learn from the center and implement things over time. What we have found, though, is that it's not just about a new build or a refresh. There's actually a whole spectrum of activity, and how can we be helping you do those things? So I know Joleen's going to talk more about that later. Joleen Cannon is going to serve as our esteemed director of this new center. I'm also very happy that CITT will continue in their efforts as well. So there are going to be a variety of different expert centers across campus to help you do what you need to do, including your local college experts. But now, this Center for Online Innovation in particular is going to be the place where UF Online invests a lot of cash into some of the more innovative STEM builds in some of the very cool STEM labs. And these will be resources that we can use as a campus to try out cool stuff, to build new things, to try out new vendors. We want to make it easier, frankly, for you guys to do what you already do, and also not cost prohibitive for each department to have to go out and find tools and adapt them and try to connect folks. I would also like to share that the other unique thing going on here at UF is that we are, I think, ushering in a whole new era of online education that reflects that it's not just about the multidimensional, that must be really hard to sign, multidimensional, the multidimensional classroom, but also the student experience, the role of experiential learning, the role of internships. We have a virtual campus now. These are things that no one else is doing across the country. So I want you to feel that, you already know that what you're doing is remarkable, but you are part of a campus that is really leading in this space across the country, and I'm very proud to be among you. I will share with you 2 challenges, and then I'm done. We're human beings, so we're busy. So we're not communicating what we're doing. And that is important, not so much for credit and awards, which is in and of itself important, but we're also not conveying to people outside our borders the time it takes, the effort we put in, the costs, and ultimately the benefits. This stuff becomes important when you read headlines about Senator X, House Member Y thinks we could just cut everything by $100 million. Or we could just do this, or you don't want to have an online classroom because it's just someone staring into a computer. It's like, well, yeah, we don't want that either. But so we're going to be hiring a new assistant director of communications within UF Online to help do that. I think we've also seen faculty are busy, instructional designers are busy. You can't also become PR professionals at promoting what you're doing. So we'll be working with you to promote what you're doing to an external audience, to reflect the amount of work that goes into it, but also to help promote it across campus, to have other ways for other faculty to get inspired by what you're doing. And this forum is one example of where that's already taking place, but I think we could do more. I also really want us to focus on amplifying the voices of our students, telling the stories of our students, and how we're reaching them and what we're doing. So we're going to help you do that as well. Lastly, I want your help in sharing the news across the campus that amongst our faculty that creativity is calling. This is a time when we want to work with you to try new things, to do new things, to redesign our courses. I know I've already heard of some fantastic things going on in class already to take a fresh look at curriculum. Why do we teach math that way? What if we did it this way? Chemistry is also talking about that. We're looking at it, and well, I chair a statewide task force on labs for online students. And we're talking about, so how do you deliver a chemistry lab for online students? And we're not talking about a fully virtual experience. We're talking about, well, building off Monica's, I know Monica's here, Monica's very cool there she is, hi. Very cool microbiology lab. You know, in one of my meetings with this statewide group, some of the chemistry professors were like, Evie, don't even bring it up, you know, we're not gonna do it. We're not gonna do a virtual chemistry lab. And I said, well, so the conversation isn't about that. It's about, well, what if we did a hybrid model where we had some summer boot camp and we had some virtual content? And they were like, oh, we could do that. So it's these fantastic things that you're doing that as we spread the word about what we're doing, more people are going to have that creative bubble go off. And so I want to encourage you to talk with your colleagues about what you're doing, and please send them to the center to the extent they have a very cool idea they want to try out, or work with their colleagues at CITT. So with that, thank you for having me, and I'm delighted to be here with you and to present your awards. Have a great day.
All right, I would like to ask Joleen Cannon to come to the stage. She's actually going to announce the awards and tell you a little bit about each of the courses while Joleen gives them to the recipients. So Joleen Cannon, the new director of the Center for Online Innovation and Production.
Okay, my day didn't start off as chipper as Clay's because I had to face the fact that even though I print out my notes in this font, I still need my glasses. Youth. Okay, the first award goes to GLY 3202 Earth Materials for quality course materials. The instructor is Rachel Waters. Co-course designer is Matthew Smith. Instructional designer is Allison Haskell. Yay, Allison. And we also have the video production of Josh Mills and Greg DeAngio. This course does a remarkable job of creating a microscope-based practical experience in an online environment by creating and providing hundreds of images and videos of rocks under the microscope. The interactive images in the class are excellent and get the class as close as possible to a real hands-on experience that's very, very valuable and a much higher quality student learning experience. Congratulations. And
Thank you.
Congrats.
Appreciate it.
So photo op over here. Okay. And Joleen, if you would stand to one side with the group. Stand over here. So if the award recipients could just come on up when their name is read, then we'll move along.
okay, great. Number 2 is for JOU 3109 Multimedia Writing. And it's the category, yeah, go ahead, clap, woo. Instructional strategies. I'll say the names really loud, keep clapping. Okay, so we have Judy Dodd as the course designer. Contributors are Kristen Grace, Bridget Grogan, Nadine Reynolds, Judy Robinson, Rich Shumate, and Michael Weigold. The students in this course lauded its creativity and good flow of activities that build logically. The students also enjoyed joining in the creation of course materials. There are a variety of assignments, discussions, writing, peer review that gives students a diverse learning experience. This course uses intentional instructional design and scaffolds the building of the experience on the previous learning, working together, learner independence. In addition, Dr. Dodd is an interesting and engaging speaker. Her videos are short, to the point, and of high quality. Dr. Dodd does a great job of practicing what she preaches, that is, telling the story of how to be an excellent journalist. Okay. And number 3 is EDG 7982, Practitioner Research, Theory and Practice, in the category of learner satisfaction. The instructor is Nancy Dana. Instructional designer is Dominic Duarte. Media resources, Christopher Gomez, and graduate assistant. The welcome message communicates Dr. Dana's passion and enthusiasm and sets the tone for a great semester. The technical quality of the videos is top-notch, and the interviews with practitioners in the field help to showcase how these strategies really work. The modules are clearly laid out and provide readings, discussions, as well as tasks that build upon one another. Students, therefore, have multiple and meaningful activities. Dr. Dana effectively uses both synchronous and asynchronous activities to stimulate student interest. The course design and Dr. Dana provide the students with a great learning experience. Number 4 is AEC 6932, Organizational Leadership in the area of student engagement, where the instructor is Matthew Saukic, instructional designer is Heather Manis, and teaching assistant Jira Niewoher. Oh, I messed that one up. Niewohner. Okay. Dr. Saukic is clearly very enthusiastic in his enthusiasm. He went above and beyond to make his course a great experience for the student. Examples of this includes his easy-to-use expectation sheet, an exemplary introduction video, and a variety of creative course assignments. The supplemental content is also excellent. The course is designed to leverage each student's experience within the course and within an actual organization. This deliberate tie to actual application of concepts and theories contained in the course makes for a more personalized and engaging experience according to the students.
Just fine. I've heard much worse. Oh, great. Thank you.
I just want to stand here. Okay. Here we go. Okay. Last but not least, we have ZOO 3603, Evolutionary Developmental Biology for Imaginative or Innovative Approach. The instructor is Dr. Brian Harfey. The content contribution and guest lecturers are Christy Larkin and Malcolm Madden. The interview scientists are Lisa Lawson and Martin Cohen. Oscar Tarazona and Keith Cho, instructional designers Emma Brady and Shalonda Reeves. This course features 3 integrated, fully virtual labs designed to encourage critical thinking and assess application of scientific thinking and lab skills related to course content. This approach of problem solving with real cases gives students the ability to manipulate simulations and see how things can work. This is definitely an innovative approach that makes the content relevant as well as real to students. It is not just about presenting content using audiovisual materials, but providing students with real-world tasks to solve. The lab assignments are creative and interesting. In addition, Dr. Harvey was incredibly present throughout the course and answered discussion questions quickly and often. Dr. Harvey and his team also created very nice location lab videos. These videos are closed captioned and very efficient. But I would also like to add one more thing about Dr. Harvey's contribution to the course, because I was involved with this course, so I know a little bit more about it than the others, is that when he first started, when he was assigned, I'm thinking, okay, we have the associate dean of one of the biggest college on campus that's going to be the instructor. How difficult it's going to be to get his time, and we're going to have to be scrambling and whatnot. And we were also working with a vendor, Labster, that needed content. I have to say, I was blown away, totally amazed at his availability in spite of his busy schedule and his multiple responsibilities. He was there to the extent where the vendors were even, we haven't received content this quickly, we haven't received content in this degree of specificity, it's exactly what we need. And so after that, he has reset my bar on what would be realistic to expect from instructors in terms of participation. Because if Dr. Harvey can contribute what he did to this course, but you'll have to talk to him about his secrets. I don't know how he did it. I don't know if it involves sleep at all at night or anything like that, but he really did a good job.
So I just want to thank the committee, the selection committee, who trying to tease out the best quality courses from all of the awesome courses that were nominated was a big challenge. So kudos to the selection committee. Does the selection committee want to stand? Probably not, right? Yeah, you don't want to, but please do. So the quality, this is a subcommittee of the Quality Assurance Committee, so thank you all for your work identifying these courses. And you will be able to see web tours of these courses as soon as we get them made, which will probably be the end of May. So you'll be able to actually see what these courses look like.